What's going on, everyone? I am so pumped for this video because we have an amazing gobsmacking behind the curtains case study revealing how my student Habib went from 0 to over 100K a month with his store. I mean, the man's balling out. And we're gonna cover how he found his winning product and how his website is converting at over 5%. And he's making not one, not two, not three, but $5 per visitor every time someone lands on his website, which is insane. And of course, finally, we're gonna cover what he's doing on the media buying side and the ad creative side to be printing money over on Facebook. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alrighty, what's going on, Habib? So I'd love if you can get into over the last 30 days what you've been doing with your brand in terms of scaling, whether or not this has been a one product store, general store, and just, yeah, how you were able to get to these numbers over the last 30 days.
Yeah, so fortunately with the program, this is actually the first product I tested. Tried a few ads, things like that, 3 different variations to see what worked. And then we got some traction on the purchases. And then mainly what's just been working for me is just to make a few variations of the ads and try lots of different scaling methods on Facebook. And then slowly and surely, the revenue started increasing. So after the first maybe month, after making the site and everything, I think I could see that, okay, cool, this does have potential. And the coaches were telling me this does have potential. Mm-hmm. So then fortunately, I was able to just double down on it, and things have just been taken off ever since.
Yeah, it's great to see. I mean, your website's making over $5 a visitor. And I'm wondering if you could go back to that first month so we can kind of see what it looked like in terms of the numbers, because now your website's making $5 a visitor. But I do wonder, when you were first testing out the product page design and the offers, what it was like back then.
The first week, I guess, as with any product, was a little bit slow. I remember, I think I had to wait, from my memory, I think it might have been the second or third day after testing, just to see if it gets, if it got any sales. But again, with the program, they teach you, you don't have to be too reactionary, know your numbers, and that's the most important thing. Let it spend to your break-even point for your product. Fortunately, by the time it got to that break-even stage, I was able to get a few purchases and things like that. I was limited initially by a few things. I know when you sign up for Facebook, you do have your spend limit, so you have to spend like £50 a day, stuff like that. But I just used that time to really just try and knuckle down, see, okay, this ad does have some legs to it, it's working, make loads of different variations. And initially, you guys, you teach, what is it, like 3 different ad sets, 5 variations within each ad set as well. So you gotta test plenty, and within that many, well, if you follow in the course well enough, surely one of them's got to be a winner, right?
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Typically around 10% of new ads are going to be winners if you do everything at a high quality level, which, I mean, when you're completely new and it's your first product test in the program, it is a learning curve. Like, it does require a higher level when testing. And it's good to see that even though it did take you time to even get this first one off the board, it ended up paying off. And you were initially getting some decent results there. I mean, looking at it, you're making 2 Great British pounds per visitor. I mean, the conversion rate obviously has now doubled since then, but there's some good traction. So I'm curious, from when you first started testing this to now, what were kind of the main changes you made on the website side to essentially double the amount of money you're making now from every visitor?
At the end of the day, it's first of all, with the site, I couldn't really believe it before because I tested some products before joining the program, and I used to just think, okay, if something's not working, it must be the site, it must be the site, it must be the site. Really, you can change all the different things around the site and things like that. Realistically, people are only going to look at like your first above the fold section, so they're just going to see your description, your offer, and then things like a few things below. But that's the most important thing, that initial thing, what they first see. So what I thought really helped me to kind of optimize my site was, I was always thinking, what's going to be the quickest way to get them to buy? So not having too many different complications, giving the information they need as instant as possible. So what's the problem? What's the real thing they're facing? Show them that, give them a few bullet point benefits, trying and testing the offer as well. And then going into making it easy, having a buy now button, having an add to cart button, things like that. So I think what made this helped was just, focusing really on zoning in on what's the actual problem, and then just split testing the offer after that. You can have all the other stuff, cool, that's all good, but the main thing is just having your basics and then just really focusing in on what price point hits the customer, what resonates with them. And often, to be honest, a lot of the time, a lot of the pre-buying can be done from your actual ads as well. So it's just making sure that your ads are on point too.
Totally agree. So it sounds like the main difference from this version to now the version today is mainly a lot of above the fold split testing, like you said. So getting those emoji benefits in, lots of price split testing, lots of offer split testing. It's very micro changes, but those micro changes do add up. And I think, I mean, you're great proof of, I mean, your website doubled essentially with the revenue per visitor because of all those little changes over time, which is great to see. Now, you did touch a little bit upon it about how, yeah, when you first started testing products, you focused on all these other things. So I am curious, what was the difference in your head between how you tested products in the past before joining the program versus when you first got into it?
This is why the information you get is just really valuable, because in my mind, I thought, and it's true to a certain extent. So I think what helped me was I thought you can take any product and you can make it into a winner, which is true to a certain extent, but there's only so far you can get to us with a certain product. So just things like knowing, does the product you're selling, does it actually solve a particular need? Like, do people actually genuinely need and want this? Are they going to pay their hard-earned money for it? Or is it just that nice to have? Is it just something cool but doesn't really solve a real problem for them? The issue I had before was just, I had this one product that was, one, really cheap. Nobody really relatively wanted it that much. It wasn't really a need. But then joining the program, having a coach to analyze which products you're actually gonna choose, solve a need. Does it have a proven sales history? Can you go on Amazon? Has it been selling like above 30,000 new pounds or dollars, whatever, every month? Does it have the proven demand? And then once you've got that product that you know is kind of verified that could be a winner, it's got that proven sales demand, then it makes it a lot more easier, because then you can see for sure what's the main pain points, and you can use that all in your ads and your website as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. So it sounds like a lot of it did come down to just changing the way that you evaluated products after having our criteria available to you, and also having our coaches available to help you choose the right products so you don't waste time and money on the wrong ones. Which, yeah, I mean, that in itself is incredibly valuable. And in this case, yeah, the first product we chose ended up being a great winner that you've been scaling the last few months. And then, like you said, the other things, just with market research, understanding your audience at a fundamental, deeper level. I don't know if you also had a chance, and if this was helpful for you with the having access to the video ad templates, the image ad templates, if you had a chance to use those, or what were you doing kind of on the ad side to create these new ads that have been working for you?
For me, I know with everyone, things are different. For me, what mainly worked best for me was the video ads. And then for that, it was just studying religiously, mainly all of Ethan's videos on YouTube, all the videos on the course as well, trying out different frameworks. So things like 3 reasons why, problem solution, looking at just things like, even just small things like editing tools, how often you should like kind of change frames, things like that. So it mainly does come into your scripting and understanding the problem and things like that. But once you've got that, there's loads of different ways you can edit. And like you said earlier, it's just about trying a bunch of different things, right? Trying a bunch of different frameworks, see what resonates with your audience the best. And then once you've got that sorted, then hopefully you can go on to find your winning ad that can help you scale.
All done as split testing, like you said, just studying to know the common trends among winning ads so you can replicate that for when you're testing your own products, which, yeah, you put in the work. So I give you a lot of credit on that. Now, I do want to definitely take a look, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious on the Facebook ad side, how this looked when you first started the first 2 weeks compared to now that we're scaling to $4 to $5 grand a day. So let's definitely hop on over to there, and we'll blur things out, but just take a look at how that progressed. So
originally, because I was limited by just having a £50 budget per day, I started off with just an ABO with 3 different ad sets in there. And then I think probably like 5 ads within those ad sets. And then luckily, one framework tend to got all of the spend. So I thought, okay, I guess that one's kind of ish the winner. And then as I spent money each day, my total budget kind of increased. So we then eventually switched to trying ABOs with that winning ad. And again, started off relatively slowly, relatively okay. Got 3 purchases within the first week. So it's enough to know that something's there, but still definitely not going to be a millionaire just with that. So just definitely still had a bit of work to do from there.
Yeah, so these are the first 2 weeks. We could see there's some purchase intent, there's some momentum. It is definitely unprofitable. So I'm curious, over the next 2 weeks from like July 7th to July 21st, what changed here in the ad account?
Okay, so I'm going to guess testing some more ads, and then scaling as well. So having and then having CBOs for each winning ad basically as well.
Yeah, so still the ABO as like the main one where you're testing the creatives, and then these CBOs were for scaling. It looks like, yeah, like you said, those winning creatives.
Yeah, even though the original ad wasn't the best, I knew it still had a bit of purchasing intent. So I just got some feedback from the guys from the one-to-one course, made a few different ads, and then after testing a couple of different ones, I saw some of them they were below my break-even CPA. So I was like, that's great. It's profitable. I can go ahead and scale them. So I took those, started off making their own individual CBO campaigns as well with each of the winning ads. And that's where things started to really kind of take off, just taking those winning ads, put them into their own CBOs.
Yeah.
And things start to work really well.
Yeah, all these CPAs are below the original ABO campaign. So yeah, usually with testing campaigns, they're going to be the least profitable because you're testing new things. But yeah, can we see that top one, for instance? I mean, that CPA is really, really good. Great ROAS. And yeah, like you said, just one ad set, just the winning ad, I'm assuming. Did we have multiple ads in here or just the one that was really kicking? Yeah, just the one that you made tweaks to. So,
yeah, so
awesome.
I guess it was just once we saw one just got a bit purchasing intent, we just took it, scaled it, and things seemed to work really well in that CBO compared to the ABO originally. Going into more recently, it's just, again, that process of just trying a bunch of different scaling methods and just seeing what works. So having those CBOs and having those and trying out Advantage Plus campaigns, they tended to work as well. So I just kept on testing new ads, put them into their own scaling campaigns and just trying different methods of scaling once I did find that winning ad. So we've got an Advantage Plus, we've got CBOs as well. Initially, just selling in the UK started to really work. So I even tried Advantage Plus with just the UK as well. That also works pretty well. Then we also tried different scaling methods as well, such as using the duplicate strategy. So whenever I had a ad that did start to perform well, taking that ad, making 3 more ad sets, and then trying it out different budgets and see what works. So maybe making 3 ad sets at £20, 3 ad sets at £50 if it does well as well, and keep going like that. And then one thing that's really helped me is just systemizing things and trying not to overcomplicate it. I think when you get into the stage, it's really easy just to say, act on emotion, do a bunch of dramatic stuff, or say, okay, I haven't got many sales today, let me go crazy. But I think just knowing your rules, having your systems worked really well. So for me, it was just test a few ads, let it get at least maybe 3 purchases, try different scaling methods, maybe try the duplicate method, try CBOs, try Advantage Plus. And then what's just important is just make sure you cut the fat, cut what's not working, and just continue pushing with what is working. So it's just really trying as much as you can and just dialing in or whatever works for when you're scaling it.
Awesome, Habib. I really appreciate this full breakdown. I hope that everyone here can notice the patterns. So on the media buying side, he still has his ABO going on where he's testing new creatives every single week. And then from there, he's just scaling them up through a variety of different methods, like he said, with duplicating the ad set multiple times in the same campaign and pushing more spend to the winning creative. Then also doing CBOs where he isolates the winning creative in there, and then Advantage Plus as well, where he has both international and UK, which is his main target audience. So obviously there's other ways of scaling, which that's going to be the next focus for the next month, so we can hit over 100K a month consistently. But Habib's done some amazing work. He's a great testament to what you can do when you have the right strategies and you also put in the work and execute. Because I mean, everyone can have the strategies, but it takes a certain type of person like Habib that actually puts them to work and executes and does it at a high level and stays consistent, which is awesome to see. So just to ask one more final question, Habib. At this point, if there was somebody that is on the fence after seeing these results of joining the program and getting access to these resources and the one-on-one coaching that did help you get to this level, would you say that this program was worth it and that they should book a call after now getting a chance to go through it for the last couple of months?
So I tried dropshipping probably 3 or 4 months before I joined the program. And in my mind, I was thinking, I don't need a program. I can do everything myself. I'll be all right. We've got YouTube Academy. I'll be okay. And I'd spend days upon days, all my time just looking at courses, looking at YouTube, trying to slowly implement and do things better and things like that. I'm not really seeing the success I needed. And I think sometimes you just need someone to just look over your shoulder who knows what they're doing, who knows what they're doing, who's gone through it all before and can tell you where you're going right or where you're going wrong. So I think that's why I think just having an expert really, really does provide value, because you can spend a long time trying different things and not knowing where you're going wrong. Or you can have a day and have an expert tell you that, okay, look, there you go, just do this, do that. And then that's what's made the difference for me. I think it is still good to get that education in when you can, but just having someone to guide you and tell you the exact path to go through, I think is really, really helpful. So I think I got to a point where I thought I did all the research I could do. I was frustrated. And it turns out probably the bottleneck was just the product I chose. So if you are sitting on the fence, I think just one, be ready to put the work in. That's one thing. But two, you need to have the right information. So if you go to someone who has the right information, has plenty of people who've done well, then you can't really fail. But if you don't have the right information, then it's a lot more disheartening because you don't know if what you're doing is right or wrong. So if you are on the fence, I think definitely try it for sure.
Yeah, like you said, I feel like most people can be successful on their own, but it's just the amount of time it would take in a lot of cases is what makes them quit, because it, in a lot of cases, will take years. And like you said, you tried to do it alone for 4 months, didn't progress as fast as you would ideally like, and you wanted to speed things up, shortcut the learning curve, get that one-on-one feedback so you can get results much quicker, which happened in this case. And that made a big difference. So I would say for people that are in that situation, if you've been doing this for a few months, you haven't gotten the results you'd like, and you, again, want to have that over-the-shoulder feedback, then a program like this can definitely make a big difference. So Habib, thank you very much, man. And yeah, can't wait to start scaling this up even further over the whole of Q4. Now, if you're interested in getting the exact course, one-on-one coaching, and the support that was fundamental for him to finally see success and breakthrough with his dropshipping store, then feel free to book a call down below with my team, and we will give you the exact details as how we will help you scale your brand from 0 to over $1,000 a day in the next 180 days, like so many of our other student successes, or we will keep coaching you for free until you do.